What? So you know how to use the microphone,
I
right?
just don't want it to roll off, you know. Like, you know what I mean? It was roll off.
That's the slides. Yeah, that's right. Testing, testing. I appreciate everyone coming out today. My friends, volunteers for helping me out set up this event. My name is Daniel Homer, but you can call me Danny. I am the president of Take Your Stand. I founded this organization in October of 2025, and we're focused, our mission is to increase civic engagement in the city of Rockford. So we hope to host more forums like this around Rockford, including aldermen, mayors, state senators, state house members. Take Your Stand is a 501c3 organization. We are nonpartisan, so we don't, we're not conservative or liberal. We're just nonpartisan. We founded this because when I looked at the consolidated election for April 1st, 2025, the mayor election, I saw that the turnout was around 20%. So I think that should be way higher, because if you can compare it to Inez. So that's why we have Logemann here today, so he will explain that to particularly the youth in the city. So right now, I hope to encourage you all to vote, register to vote if you haven't already. There was just a primary that went on March 17. That turnout was also low. But if you want to get involved with Take Your Stand, our website is takeyourstandusa.org. We have a form on there where you can sign and you can volunteer. You can help us set up the event. If you know photography, you're always welcome to help us out with that matter. We're also looking for people to put on our board, not board of directors, but for our staff team. So that would be an amazing thing if you want to get involved on that. And we have a donation page too, so we work off donations. We are also self-funded right now. So reach out to us, takeyourstandusa.org. Now I would like to introduce my treasurer. So if you'd like to come up here and explain the format of the event and how everything will go down.
Hello, my name is Dalton Nystrom. I'm treasurer of Take Your Stand. I'm just going to briefly go over the format, what we're going to be doing today at this event. We're going to have Alderman Logemann come up. He's going to talk about his personal experiences, his life as an alderman, and how to get civically engaged in Rockford. After that, we're going to have a short Q&A session, so if you have any questions, save it till then. You can ask Alderman Logemann, and then we're going to have a short closing statement. So, if you join me in welcoming Alderman Logemann to the stage.
Yeah, hold on. I got a teacher voice. Yeah, well, thank you. My name's Jonathan. I'll just use my teacher voice. I'm actually a teacher at Auburn High School, so I recognize one Auburn knight in the crowd. I know we got some Jefferson cats over here. Where are you guys? I'm a high school teacher, so I always ask, where are you with the high school? Harlem. Harlem? Stomach. Nice. Good, good. Yeah, so I do a couple different things in the community, and I'm really proud of community service. I really think that's a really important thing about how we move our community along. And just last year, I'm in the Army National Guard as well, and I remember just being absolutely frustrated when I came back from being deployed overseas. So I was actually in the Middle East 1 year ago now. So when we see the Middle East in the news currently, like a lot of the American deaths that we've just had, they're Army reservists and they're Army National Guardsmen. And these are people just in our community who have, signed up and taken an oath to serve their country, just to do right by their community. So they're overseas right now. Like 1 year ago today, I was in the Middle East, and when I came back, up there in the top left, I just found these on Google Image. But it was such a great feeling to be working together towards a common goal, bringing everybody home safe on our deployment, and we did. But then, down here, I came back to Rockford, and I get it. It was right after an election, and there's always raw feelings right after an election. But I felt like we were acting like the bottom picture. And so the reason I show this, I've seen and I've experienced the top picture, and it is a fantastic feeling. I think we need to do more of that than the divisions that we see in our society. So yeah, thanks Danny and Dalton for organizing this group. I think this is a really important thing, no matter if you're a conservative or a liberal. I'm not just saying this to be unity. I'm sick of a lot of the divisions that we see, and unity is more in my nature, but that we're not conservative or liberal or Democrat or Republican, not focusing on those differences. But I love it, just taking your stand of getting involved with your community, I think is really important. And then engaging the youth. So I will go to the next slide, but one of the important things that I'm really proud of, I'm a teacher at Auburn High School. So I hope you guys didn't do this when you were kids at Jefferson or Stillman or Harlem, but I had a kid I had that one, a kid took a picture of me and while I was teaching a class and then emailed it to me while I was teaching, and I was like, I wouldn't pay attention during class when I'm talking to you. But a lot of so one of the big things that I'm proud of is I'm a teacher at Auburn High School. So I teach government, two students, and I try to bring in a lot of the stories that I have, like at City Council to Auburn High School, and just talk about government, because the government that affects you most is actually like your local government, your county government, your city council. You know, if we're talking about how to use certain land, that's local government, your municipal government. The federal government gets the press all the time. If you turn on the news, my mom's recovering from just that Van Mater rehab clinic. I'm gonna go see her right after this. And when she's like, "Can you change the channel?" She can't really use her arm yet. But she asked, "Can you change the channel?" I turn it to the news. She likes watching the news. But it's just all this division. And so, like, I'm like, "Mom, I can't even stand watching the news right now." So she'll turn it to PBS or something like that. But I, like, at Auburn High School, you know, I'll tell the kids, because the kids will ask, like, "What is an alderman?" I think that's a great question. So the way I always explain it, like, alderman is just congressman, think of like congressman, but for the city. We're the legislative branch, but for the city. Like all of the freshmen that I have, they take a government class. And so we study like U.S. government, and I'm sure you've all had to take a U.S. government class. So think about an alderman as like a senator or a congressman, and the mayor would be the executive. So like I am really proud of being a teacher. My wife's also a teacher at East High School, and that I think is like getting involved in our community as well. I'm a busy guy too. I got back, I had an Army drill this weekend, and so this is a picture from last year, right over here, right there, where I had we came in, I was the operations officer for our National Guard battalion, Illinois Army National Guard, and so that meant I got to, we're in the northern Illinois like sector, so that means if I was the operations officer, I got to kind of like bend the battalion commander's ear on where we should fly into, and I said, "Sir, I think O'Hare, like nobody wants to go O'Hare, it's way too busy. There's this place called Rockford. We've got an awesome airport. What do you think about Rockford?" So we actually flew into Rockford International Airport, Chicago Rockford. I think it is International Airport. And so this is that picture last year, so I'm really proud of my 3 little girls here. They go to this one, Eleanor, and Maya, they go to Barber Elementary School on the southwest side here, and then my little 4-year-old, Octavia. Also really proud of doing that work. I know it's like today you're hearing stuff in the news about the Army and disobeying orders and yada yada yada, but like the Illinois Army National Guard, like if you think about what was going on during COVID, a lot of people who were manning facilities trying to keep our community safe, the state relied a lot on Illinois Army National Guardsmen. So that's another just like public service type of job that we do. Obviously, I get paid to be in the Illinois Army National Guard, and I get paid to be a teacher, so there's that. But I derive a lot of satisfaction from like doing the public's work. And then down here, these keep me busy. My wife, as I told you, Sarah, she works at East High School. I told you about my 3 daughters, but that's a picture this year. So yeah, Derek, that's why I wasn't at a couple of these county Board of Health meetings. So I was a coach, and I really think that's important too, of like being involved not only in your like with your kids, but also in like kids' lives overall. Because like I got the benefit. I was coaching a soccer team, Barber soccer. We weren't any good. We won like a game. In Barber basketball, we weren't any good, but the kids were great. And so I tried to instill a lot of those values, just like hard work, keeping it up, keeping a positive attitude. And I don't think the kids know it. I probably should have been better at explaining this to them, but just seeing their spirit and the way they tried hard, like I probably got more out of them than they got out of me. So again, that's I think another instance where I really derive a lot of value out of just like helping out different people in the community. And if you notice right up here, like none of these things are like ideologically oriented. I don't think we need to do that. Like in my class, this is just kind of who I am as a teacher. I understand that I've got like staunch liberals and staunch conservatives in my classroom, but I owe them a good education where they feel it's like a safe learning environment. Or my constituents who I serve as alderman, most of the time they're not calling me and asking me like, hey John, what do you think about like what's on the news recently? Can I get what's your ideological position on that? No, I never get that. Maybe like once a year, right? When somebody calls me up, they have or texts me or emails me, they've got a problem that they want solved. So that's like how I try to think about my job and my community overall. It's just how I can figure out how to solve somebody's problem or help them solve it so they can feel more invested in the community. Because ultimately, that's what I want. That's why I ran for alderman in the first place, is because I thought that we could have people become more engaged in their community. And Danny, I like that statistic that you said early on. I think in 2017, when I initially ran and won, there was only 20% of Rockfordians who voted in the city election. And then in 2021, there was no mayor's race. It was also like kind of COVID times. It was 10%. That's crazy if you think about it. That like the government that touches you the most, but like your school district or like county government and municipal government, only 10% of Rockfordians are voting in these types of elections. And then recently, I don't know what it was. I was still in the Middle East when the last section happened, but 20% is what it was. Okay, a little better, but that's kind of what we see with municipal elections. It's really low, and like most people don't really have faith in their like the national government or maybe even the state government. I thought local government is something that like you can reach out and touch. Like I have all my neighbors, everybody has my personal cell phone number. It doesn't bother me at all. Like they'll call or they'll text me. Like I just got a text on my way here to try to if somebody is from outside my ward, but I'm going to try to get. I'm not the one who's going to be able to solve the problem for them, but I'm going to try to put them in touch with the person who can. So it's those types of things where I was trying to help residents have more faith in their local government, because most officials, you don't have to be an elected official. I serve with Derek here on the Winnebago County Board of Health. I mean, there's just so many good people that are in this town who want to work for the betterment of the community, and I think just trying to build trust in our local institutions, I think that is super important. I also teach this class, AP Comparative Government, where we look at different countries around the world, and then what happens in countries where they don't have faith in government, where they don't trust the government. Bad things happen. So I was just trying to do my little part in my little section of my town, in my little section of the world, just to try to improve my community. So that's kind of like life outside an alderman. I've been criticized for saying like, John, you're too busy, you have too much stuff going on. That is true. However, I think like all of the aldermen on city council or all of the board reps, they all have different experiences that they bring to the table, and I'm probably a little too busy right now, but I think that brings a certain perspective to city council, just like a lawyer would. We've got a couple of those on city council, or like a financial advisor would. We've got one of those on city council, or a doctor. We've got one of those on city council, so that like diversity of experience, I think, is better for the city. So here are some of the daily duties. This picture right here, my wife, this was just at a neighborhood block party back in, it was like 2017 or 2018, but my wife just took that picture. I brought her down to a neighborhood block party. Those are some of the fun things. You get to like engage with the residents a little more. And part of the, I'm not going to be an alderman forever, but when I reflect back on one of the things that that brought me most joy of being an alderman, it was actually like selfishly just getting to know my neighbors. If you think back to where you grew up, like on your block, I don't know, like, did you know more than 2 people on your block? Maybe? I don't know. Hopefully you did. I don't know if I wasn't an alderman, if I would know more than like 4 or 5 people on my block. But as alderman, like I know everybody on my block. I've knocked on literally every single one of their doors, not only on my block, but in the surrounding neighborhood. And that, like, selfishly, that brings me a lot of joy that I'm more connected to my community, and I hope they, like, neighbors feel that on the other way around. So these, like, neighborhood block parties, I think are super important, just understanding our neighbors better. Because when you get down to the differences between people, I rarely get a phone call just like someone just chewing me out, saying I'm like a crappy alderman, yada yada yada. That doesn't ever happen face to face. Sometimes it happens online, but like I have kind of a rule that if you can't say it to their face, don't be writing that online. Certainly some people will write that online. But most of my interactions with people are very positive, right? They understand that I'm trying to help them out. And I understand that they have a problem that they need to solve. So this is one of the things I like about Alderman, just kind of just getting to know your neighbors and working to help them. Because that's like my job is just to help them. So here are some of the, like up in pink is some of the things that we do, and I tried to tease it out based on daily or bi-weekly or monthly. So the committee that I'm on is the Finance and Personnel Committee. So that meets so I have to go to City Hall every Monday night. That's a lot. It was actually, like, if I'm being honest, it was a lot more intensive when I actually assumed the position than I was anticipating overall. So it's every Monday night from 5:30 to 8. So I got small kids at home. And so recently, my 4-year-old, I've been trying to come out the door, and she's like dragging on my foot right there. Like, Dad, don't go. I'm like, ah, sorry. So on the Finance and Personnel Committee, so committees meet every other Monday, and then the full city councils are every other Monday. So the committee meetings are first and third Wednesday of the month, and the full council meetings are the second and the fourth Mondays of the month. But at any rate, I'm like at City Hall basically from 5:30 to about 7:30 or 8 every Monday. So what that entails, like I've got to, as I see every Monday night, it's a lot. But in the meantime, I've got to prepare. I've got to show up prepared. So that means talking with other aldermen about issues, kind of like what they think about it as well. Talking with the mayor, talking with city department heads about the issues that are coming up that we're going to be voting on. And then something daily that we do, constituent service. I should have put a map up here about where the second ward is. Second ward, I'll just say some landmarks like Swedish American. It covers the City Hall downtown. So it goes like on the very downtown area and the very near east side. So those areas of town they're very involved with local residents. Because a lot of the neighborhoods, they're a little more fragile neighborhoods. So if you go like to the far east side or someplace like that, my friend of mine, Chad Thunberg, and I, we always joke that some of the guys on the far east side, they don't ever get any issues because there's not really like vehicle break-ins as much, or there's not people like knocking at your door at night or doing kind of weird, goofy stuff that kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies. In that area of town, like downtown center east, Rockford, or even center west too, there's a lot of like established residents who want to make sure that they maintain their investment, their home, right, and their neighborhood. Because for a lot of people, like their home investment, and I understand this, is their biggest investment that they have. They want to protect it, okay, and kind of keep away all of just some of the nonsense that goes on in our community. As a public schools teacher, I see it too at Jefferson. I'm sure you saw it, like some of the nonsense that goes on at Jefferson. Like, we don't want to be part of that. So constituent service is like I'll get 2 texts, maybe. I don't really get as many phone calls, but I'll get maybe 2 to 3 texts per day, maybe 2 to 3 emails per day, just about local residents wanting something fixed or wanting something changed too. I used to get a lot more phone calls, and that kind of goes down. I'll skip the liaising with City Hall, go down to neighborhood meetings. Before COVID, I had about 6 neighborhood groups. So they were just like North Highland Square neighborhood group. They'd have a meeting every month. And the South Highland neighborhood group, they'd have a meeting every month. Or sometimes they do it quarterly or something like that. Did I love going to 6 different meetings every month? No. Sometimes it's like 2 weeks. So Monday night, I'd have to go to City Hall. Tuesday night, I'd have to go to a North Highland community meeting. Then like Thursday night, Keith Creek meeting. So that was tough, okay? But I put before COVID, right now I really only have like 1 neighborhood group that's operating. So a lot of these neighborhood organizations, they kind of fell apart a little bit after COVID. I don't think that's a good thing. Yes, I don't have to go to as many neighborhood meetings, but that was just another instance of like meeting face to face with your community leaders. And so I get issues like, you know, Tammy over there who lives on 15th Street, we talk about, there's somebody who, like my garbage isn't getting picked up. So then I get her information and then I work to fix it for her. Okay, that's the good thing about some of those. And then like liaising with City Hall, that's another important piece. With getting like policy updates or assistance or updates with neighborhood issues. Because not every issue, a lot of these issues are like complex and it's not as easy as like, some of them are as easy as like, hey, public works, can you fix this pothole? It's easy stuff. But some of these issues are a little more intense, like an absentee landlord who's causing some issues in the neighborhood, or like speeding or something like that. But these are a little more complex. So sometimes I'll have to update and liaise with City Hall to work through some of these issues. And then social media. I'm on a social media, like the neighborhood Facebook pages, and people will tag me. Sometimes it's a little annoying because a lot of it's like things that they can figure out themselves, and it's so easy to just tag somebody. Like, hey, help me fix my issue. But when I get tagged in something like that, I don't really have too big or much context to try to help them out with that. And I'll say my own social media, kind of like taking a step back. I found that to be a little, just like in today's kind of a little divisive environment, I didn't really love that social media just kind of contributed to that. It was just kind of another avenue for people to like throw stones that were just a little silly. People have my direct phone number, so that like you can text me, you can call me, right? You can email me. There's plenty of ways to get a hold of me. And then finally, Winnebago County Board of Health, kind of like bi-weekly, serving there with Mr. Coons here actually, and on the Finance and Policy Committee. So like 1 week we have the committee meetings, and then the next week is on the full board meeting, full board. So again, that's another meeting at night, but it's good, it's for the public. And then finally, like youth getting involved. Here's a picture of one of these like Keith Creek meetings, and this picture, I think this was from like 2018, but if you look at the amount, like I'm kind of shocked just looking at that picture right now, because this group still meets, but there's only like 6 or 7 people that show up for this meeting. Like back in 2018, you see like the amount of people, and this is kind of an older neighborhood of town, right near like 6th Avenue and 20th Street, kind of that area of town, near southeast side. But like this is good. This is, I think, what we need more of in our community. And then this is a picture of me and you guys have Key Club at all at Jefferson? At all? Okay. So I'm just an advisor for Key Club as well. And this is just a picture of like, this is from like 5 years ago too. I should get some better pictures. But 5 years ago too, just like young kids invested in their community who want to get involved. So I'll close with some things that I think are important that we could do to get involved more with our community, like if you have that intention. Now I understand you guys are super busy. When I was your age, all I cared about was like, I had a job, and when I was in college, go to work, and then I had to get my homework done, and make sure I went to class. And like beyond that, I don't care what's going on in the world. Like I'm so laser focused on just getting through next week until the end of the semester. Like I get it. But if you are so inclined, these are some of the things that I think would be helpful, or things that you could do. I say intern with an alderman. This might be kind of hard. Like I don't have any staff, I just do the thing on my own. But when I had to go to some of these training, like military army trainings for about 3 or 4 weeks, I'd have students from Auburn who would be like, Mr. Logemann, can I intern with you? Like, I don't really know what to do. But when I was gone for like 3 or 4 weeks at a training, I didn't really have too much time to dig into an issue. I'd be like, yes, all right, let me email you things that I need help with. So, like, you could possibly do that. If maybe think about it, job shadowing with an alderman. I have a student, I think I maybe put it, oops, let's see. I have a student right now, a 9th grade student, engage your local officials. Like, we listen to you. We don't have that many constituents. The congressman is about 750,000 constituents. I have 11,000, okay? So like, I listen to you. I've got a 9th grade student right now. He lives in the 4th ward, so I'm his teacher, 2nd ward alderman. He lives in the 4th ward, and he's trying to set up like, hey, do you think you and Alderman Frost could meet with me to talk about some economic development ideas that I have? I'm like, yeah, that'd be fantastic. Let's set it up this summer, okay? We do stuff like that. Not like if you wanted to, Danny, if you want to get like senator over here, oh my gosh, the amount of emails and coordination you have to do to just get like your representative, a U.S. senator right here, way easier because we are, and it's the way it should be, the way we're set up in America, our local government is the most responsive to the constituents. So I'll just stick with this one right here, engage your local officials. Like I've got an 11th grade student right now, he's engaged in political volunteering with like a federal campaign that's going on right now as well. Those are all opportunities that you have if you just want to get more involved or see what it's like to be involved in government. Let's see, I said, yeah, intern. So also you can intern with the city or the county as well. I'm not talking with like a city elected official, but you can intern with the county government. They're always looking for interns, or the city government if you're interested in that as well. So you can do like some job. It's kind of like free work for the city or the county, but you gain experience and you gain connections, which is super important. And I can, like, if you want, I'll tell you my phone number at the end, or you can just look it up. Like Jonathan Logemann, City of Rockford, it's on the city's website. But yeah, municipal government affects your life most. And then I think here, building relationships through volunteering on a campaign, if you're like really inclined politically, if you're a fervent Republican or a fervent Democrat, like finding somebody that you appreciate, whose views you appreciate, volunteering on a campaign. You don't have to do that much work. You can say like, hey, I'm busy, I only have like 5 hours to give. But like those 5 hours are super valuable to a candidate who's running for office. They try to get as much help as they can. Over here, you could canvass your neighborhood for a political candidate or for a particular candidate. It can be any candidate. We've got some general elections going on in the fall, so you can think about like there's going to be county elections, which is local government. There's going to be statewide races, there's statewide races, also state representative, also midterm elections. Like there's a big election that's coming up in November. You can canvass your neighborhood for a particular candidate, see if you like it. Now I'll tell you, I've done this so much, just like my own neighborhoods that surround the 2nd ward, that I can get a pretty good feeling on like reading people's faces and seeing how well they interact with me to see if they like would support me or not. So the more you do this type of thing, canvassing, just the better you get at it, the better you get at reading people and doing these little heuristic shortcuts and stuff like that. I already talked about that. I think also identify a cause or an issue that you're passionate about. Getting involved with that. You don't have to get involved with a candidate. You don't have to get involved with a political party. Like interest groups are a really important part of our American democracy system, and you can get involved with an issue or a cause that you care about. There's, I'll ask you, let's see, a trivia question. I always ask my students right this. Guess how many registered interest groups there are in the United States? What's that? 40? There's 200,000. So whatever interest that you have, there's probably 1,000 interest groups that would act in that capacity. So you can find an issue that you're passionate about. I think the biggest one right here, I wrote a sentence right here. In our increasing like look at me culture, this is what I always try to tell like my students at Auburn High School. Like enough with the look at me culture. Figure out a way that you can be useful to your community and to your neighbors. And I think that's what really motivates me is like I want to be useful. I want to be useful to my neighbors and I want to be useful to my community. So that kind of like ties in a little bit with like my crappy social media presence. But I try to focus my energy not on that, but on like trying to be useful to my community. So that's kind of like my life outside of an alderman, some of the daily duties which are important, daily and weekly duties, and then like you guys getting involved in your community, which I think is like superbly important because that crazy statistic that you cited that we have around 50 to 20% of people showing up for local elections. That's terrible, you know? For people to complain, I like this too. You don't get to complain about your government unless you're doing something about it. That can be as simple as voting. Like yesterday, I went to go vote. It took me, like I left at 6:30 in the morning and I was back by 6:50. Would I have rather like sat back and drank an extra cup of coffee? Sure, but like my democracy isn't asking too much of me. Like, hey, Jonathan, every few months, do you think you could get out and vote? Like, I can do that. I think we need more people that can do that to get involved. So, yeah, Danny, Dalton, appreciate you guys. Like, I love this. Take your stand. Getting involved with your community. We need more of that. And I know you guys are super busy. You've got a bunch of stuff going on, jobs, school, trying to like get to the next level in your life. There's a lot of pressure on you guys for coming out and helping out. But if you ever, like I'm a teacher, I love helping people out. So if you ever have a question, I mean, you can just go on like City of Rockford, Alderman, and look for my picture right there. Like my email is right there. I check it every day. Phone number's right there. I check it every day. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm about. But I think if you guys have questions, we can even like kind of bring it together and just have a discussion too, since there's not too many of us. But yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about Alderman Logemann or how to get involved with Take Your Stand? No questions? Well, I got a question for you. So if you're a constituent of another alderman, can you still intern with an alderman that isn't within your district?
Yeah, so interning, I mean, it's just like for aldermen, for example, there's no really rules about it. Like when I had a couple students just help me out, that's essentially what they were doing, is helping me out. And then later on, they'd ask me like for letter recommendations. I would tell them, in the letter recommendation, like things they helped me out with. That's really cool. That you had it was a ninth grader and 12th grader to help me out. But yeah, I was like dependent upon a ninth grader to help me out with some of the issues. So yeah, I think you can just kind of reach out to anybody you want. I think building a connection with a local elected official is important. Good question.
So I want to thank you guys all for coming out. But before I end it, I just want to talk about a quick other things on how you can get involved. You can also speak at a city council meeting. It's on the Rockford official website, the government website. And what grade are you guys in, Jefferson? Yeah, you guys can even speak at the Rockford.
Hey, real quick, sorry. I just wanted to commend Derek Kuntz. We're talking about getting involved in our community. Sorry, Derek. I mean, he's another just local guy. He ran for mayor last year, and it's a tough thing. So I just I'm appreciative of just things like that. So before you want to, sorry to tell him, Derek, but I appreciate it.
Danny, for doing that, for you guys being here. And the biggest thing that I would tell you is that no person should run unopposed. You should always have a choice, right? You have a choice for an American, right? And that's one of the main reasons why I ran, but I love the city. But again, I appreciate the service that you did, get involved, get a board, however it may be. Remember, everybody has an opinion, and you're entitled to that opinion. So thank you very much. I appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
I have to go.
So yeah, you guys at Jefferson or anybody that knows anyone in high school, you can talk, even if you're not a student, you can talk at the Rockford, what is it, Board of the Rockford Board of RPS 205 board. The RPS 205 board. You can.
Oh, RPS 205 school board.
Yeah, you can speak there. I don't know how much time. Do you know how much time they give you to speak there?
Usually it's around 3 to 5 minutes. But yeah, you can find that information out. Like I could probably Google it. Like on the City of Rockford's website. City of Rockford public speakers. I know we give our speakers 3 minutes. I think the school board might be about 5 minutes. But yeah, it's anywhere in that ballpark, 3 to 5 minutes.
I know I don't have to talk with this microphone, but I think I look cool talking with it. So, yeah, I just want to end it off with a closing. I want to thank you guys all for coming out. I truly appreciate that. Jefferson students, Damian Thompson, my photographer, and anyone else that came out today. So, yeah, I mean, I hope to even do it for the Illinois General Assembly that would be a great choice so you guys can understand their positions on things, or I guess how to get involved within that too. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Thank you very much. We have snacks in the back too, so if you guys want to get any snacks, you can take water. Yeah.